Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we will be talking about my 2026 TBR. If there is one thing about me, it is that I always finish my yearly TBR, or I always try. And so far, the last 3 years, I have managed, or almost, because this is almost the end of the year, and I have a few books left, and I am pretty confident that I will finish it. So yeah, everything that I will put in this TBR, I will have to finish. So yeah, I am here with my tea, and I thought we can talk through the 16 books that I would love to read in the year 2026. So let's get into it. The first book I have, it is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. I have never read The Hunger Games. I know, and I feel like all the fantasy books these days, they always they tagline it as it's Hunger Games meets this. It's Hunger Games meets that. And I feel like it's such a classic at this point. I know the gist of the story, but I've never read it. And I think I watched the first one, but never watched the second or the third. And I thought, what a better way to watch it than reading it first. Last year, The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes came out, and I'm so intrigued, and everyone was like so obsessed with that book. Yeah, and I feel like in order to get to that book, I really need to get through the first trilogy, and I don't want to put the fourth book in because I don't want to do what I did this year, which put the entirety of the Harry Potter series, which is I don't know, 7 books. Technically only fills out 1 spot in my yearly TBR, but I need to read 6 books in order to get to that book, which I managed, but it was tough. So yeah, I am really excited for the trilogy. I'm sure I am so late to the bandwagon, but I am still really excited. I just want to see what the hype is. And I know I probably won't be as excited or as obsessed with the Hunger Games as other people, because I'm just not, or I just didn't read it whenever I was young. The same like Harry Potter, I loved it, but I think I would have loved it so much more if I were to read it whenever I was little, in my teenage years or something like that. So yeah, that is the first book in my yearly TBR. Moving on to the next one. I was browsing through the 2026 new releases, book new releases, and I saw Victorious by V.E. Schwab. I have it over here. And honestly, the Vicious and Vengeful duology so far has been amazing. And Vicious being one of my favorite dark academia book of all time. I think one of, if not, it's number 1 spot. And of course, I need to see how it ends. When Victorious comes out, though, I will probably want to reread the duology so I remember what it's all about, even though I'm pretty sure I still remember what what Vicious is about, because it's just that good. The thing is, I already know Victorious will come out a while later, because Vicious came out in 2014, and 5 years later we got Vengeful, which is 2019. And now it is, 7 years? No. Yeah, it's 7 years. And now we're finally getting, I don't know if it's the last book in the series, I hope not. But honestly, Vengeful was not as good as Vicious, but I still love it nonetheless. And I just love the found family that we experience here with Victor and Serena, I think her name. Is it Serena? I think it's called Serena. If not, then probably it's time for a reread. So yeah, that is our second book. The third book I have is a book that hasn't come out yet, and I don't know exactly when it will come out, but it is called The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. I love Abby Jimenez's writing style. Her romance books is just so emotional, so heartfelt, so rom-com. I adore all her books. Even the early ones, I do not love it as much, but the trilogy, I think Part of Your World trilogy, I absolutely adore it. Yours truly, one of my favorites. But honestly, I reread it, did not love it as much as the first time, but I want to reread, what is it called? Just for the Summer. Obviously not right now because it's winter, and I like to match my books to the season. So I will be rereading that in the summertime. So moving on to the next one, I am very nervous in picking up this book, but I read the whole trilogy of Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson this year. So I thought I would continue reading books in the Cosmere. So I have The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I found this in the charity shop. I thought there's only one long book, but this publisher released it in part 1 and part 2, so I think it's like perfect. So I'll be trying to read that. The thing is, I wanted so bad to put the Stormlight Archive, the last book in the Stormlight Archive, in this TBR, but I think I will not do that to myself because after The Way of Kings, I think we go to Oathbringer. No, we don't go to Oathbringer. We go to Words of Radiance and like 5, 6 other books. And the thing is, they're all like right under 1,000 pages or over 1,000 pages long. So I'm not gonna do that to myself. So yeah, I think I'll be sticking to the first book in the Stormlight Archive. Although to get to this, I need to read Warbreaker. So I guess there is a little bit of like work needs to go into it to read The Way of Kings. But I think, honestly, I'm confident that I will finish this pretty soon because I have been missing the Brandon Sanderson world because the ending of The Hero of Ages killed me, and I really, really want to go into Mistborn Era 2. But in order to go to Mistborn Era 2, I need to read all these books. Although it probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of thing if I just continue to the like Mistborn book 4. But I will follow the reading order. So yeah, we will be reading The Way of Kings. Moving on to the next one I have is The Primal of Blood and Bone by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I have it here. It's like, I think the 5th book in the Blood and Ash series. I read the first book. The second book I have over here, which is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I know, I said I don't want to put the last book in the series in my yearly TBR because it's stressing me out. It's a different case with this. I really want to finish this series because it took me almost 1.5 years to buy the second book and even get the feeling of like wanting to continue the series. Although I really, really enjoyed From Blood and Ash. I don't know what's keeping me in continuing the series, but this year I'll be finishing the whole entirety of the series. So yeah. Moving on to the next book it is the second book in the Crescent City series, which is House of Sky and Breath. I am currently reading Crescent City. Am I loving it as much as ACOTAR and Throne of Glass? Not yet, I think. I'm still in the beginning stages. And the thing is, I am right now filming the reading vlog that you will see soonish, where I'll be finishing all my yearly TBR. Yearly TBR? Yes. Or all the books in my yearly TBR. So I thought, I'm not gonna put the third book in the yearly TBR for next year because I think it's just too much. And the fact that this book are like so long, I'm just a little bit nervous in putting the third book in as well. So I love Sarah J. Maas and I really hope that she comes out with like ACOTAR 6 next year or something. But if not, we have House of Sky and Breath. And so far, I am enjoying Crescent City. I feel like all her main male characters are the same. They're all pretty Rhysand-y. They all seem pretty like either Rhysand, Asriel, or Cass. I think those trio, they're like my favorite. So I will always compare all her main male characters to that. Also, I do love Dorian and Rowan, although they are pretty similar to, like Rowan, I feel like pretty similar to Asriel. And Dorian is like Briz. I don't know. Anyway, but I am enjoying it so far. Is it really a pain to read this? Yes, because the book is so thick and I feel like it's hurting my wrist and I cannot like lay down and read it. That's why I have it on my Kindle as well. So yeah. I'll be continuing reading this and hopefully next year I'll be finishing the second book. Moving on to childhood series that I missed out on and did not read. I'll be reading Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. I've heard so many good things about the Percy Jackson series. I think, honestly, if I'm not mistaken, I read the first book whenever I was young, but I was not obsessed or like remember anything about it now. So I think it is justified of me if I want to pick it up and I want to see if I actually love it. And I feel like right now I probably retain better information than, I don't know, my 9-year-old self. So I will be picking this up in hoping that this could be something like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, where I enjoy it and it will be like in my God tier series or something like that. And I think, if I'm not wrong, here it says that Disney Plus is coming out with the series. So I think it would be perfect if I'm reading this and watching it at the same time. Not that I watch a lot of movies, media, whatever it is, because I think my main like media that I consume is definitely books. So I do want to make more effort in reading, or not in reading, in watching more movies or series that I've read, because I feel like it'll be kind of good like imagining it in my head and then watching it and see what other people interpret of the series, of the book. So yeah, really excited to pick this one up. And I have one more book, or one more. I know I said that I wouldn't put the last book of the series in this what do you call in this yearly TBR, but I have lied again. I will put the last book in the Raven Cycle, I think it's called the Raven Cycle series, in this TBR. I think there's total 4 books. They're all pretty thin, not so long. I'm not sure though if they are, because I haven't checked. I just know the last book is called The Raven King. I've heard so many good things about this. I have not started this. I do want to start it soon in December. So yeah, before the year ends, I will read this, and hopefully by the time next year or end of next year comes around, I'll be done with the 4 book series. So yeah. Moving on to the next one I have is Alchemized by Sen Lin Yu. I have heard so many good things about this book. I heard that this book is very traumatic, very dark, and very, I don't know, dark fantasy, high romantasy, whatever it is. And I've heard a lot of people recommending this. The thing is, when it came out, I was not interested in reading it because it was 1,000. Is it 1,000 page long? It is a thick book, a chunky book that I'm not sure that I want to read at that time. But now I feel like I'm motivated for the new year, so I thought, let's pick up some challenging books. Although I don't know if it's challenging at all, or is it just like easy, or it's just crazy the things that are happening there. So yeah, I'll be picking that up. I think as well, I have not read a lot of gothic fantasy recently, and I feel like from the cover, I can tell it's pretty gothic. So it also has like an intricate magic system. So I'm pretty intrigued because I feel like right now, I love my high fantasy era, so to say, because it's just so cozy, and I have not really been reading high fantasy, and I thought, what a better way to challenge myself, and especially I love fantasy. So just making like reading a long series, I don't know if it's a series, I think it's a standalone. Reading a long book with a high fantasy magic system would be very interesting. So yeah, that's that. One of my 2025 goals was to read more classic, and I am currently in the middle of Pride and Prejudice and Dracula. And I thought, since I am in my grind, my classic grind, not that I finished both, but I started it and I will be reading it slowly. So I thought for next year, I'm going to put it in my yearly TBR because, again, like I said in the beginning, I will always finish my yearly TBR. So I'm going to be picking up Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Yeah, heard so many good things about this. And I know this is like more of a childhood or children's classic. And I saw all the covers in this series, and it was honestly so gorgeous. Look at the fall one, and I know we are following Anne like throughout her life, I guess, and we are starting whenever she was pretty young, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. As I said, with all the books that I'm mentioning, obviously I'm excited enough to put it in my yearly TBR, but I think honestly, after like a contemporary romance and a like not dark fantasy, but like a dark classic because it was Dracula, I think something lighter would be fun. But yeah, I need to stop saying excited. Honestly, my vocab is just excited, intrigued. Yeah, that's it. The next 2 books I have over here is a book talk book recommendations. And the first one which is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I heard so many good things about this. This is one of the recommendations I got from Book Talk when I was looking for a dragon fantasy book. And this came out. The second book, I think, came out recently. So, or if not recently, in 2026. So I'm excited. All I know is that there are dragons in it, and it is like fated mate, I think, if I'm not wrong. It could be a spoiler, but I mean, fated mate in general, if you say the trope, it is a little bit of a spoiler, but I I'm not sure if it's in here, but if it is, there you go. If you are looking for a more Fated Mate books, you have it. And I think like the tagline in Book Talk, what people use is like, oh, it's Fourth Wing meets Throne of Glass. I love Fourth Wing. I love Throne of Glass. Obviously, gonna pick this one up. So yeah. The next one I do not have physically, but I will definitely procure it. It is Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Not that I have continued the Crown of Nyaxia series, because the ending of this book just annoyed me. I tabbed it because I liked Rain. I think his name is Rain, right? Or Rune? No, it is Rain. It's Rain and Oriah. I do love it. I saw the ending coming. Did not really enjoy how the like miscommunication trope plays in this ending in this book. So I will eventually continue it to the second book. I don't remember what the second book is though. I will pop it out on the screen somewhere. It is not in this yearly TBR because I am intrigued in the Daughter of No Worlds trilogy. So yeah, going back to I think a book series that is quite old, but a lot of people say this is one of their favorite fantasy, I don't know if it's YA, but fantasy series. So I will definitely be picking this one up. Okay, we have 3 more books, so let's go a little bit faster now. The next book I have is The Nightingale. I do not have the sleeve for this, by Kristen Hanna. I read The Women, absolutely loved it, broke my heart into a million pieces. I think this is gonna break me even more because this is her most like well-known book that she has published. I read The Women. I don't know why. I think I just decided like, oh, I feel like I want to read The Women more than The Nightingale. Not that I know what this book is about. You will probably know because I will put up the blurb in the screen somewhere. But yeah, nervous, excited, intimidated, but I will read it for sure. Moving on to the next 2 books that I do not have. We have Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. It came out this year, I think, but I have not picked it up because, I don't know, I just have so many books I would love to read, and Catabasis apparently is not up there. But it is R.F. Kuang. I know and absolutely adored her writing style, so I thought, you know what? I have to pick this one up. And the thing with R.F. Kuang, I don't know why, but her books, I just do not gravitate towards, but I know when I read it, I will absolutely adore the book. So that's the same thing with like the Poppy War trilogy. I only read the Poppy War. I have not continued with the Dragon Republic or the Burning God, but I will. I will finish that series eventually, but right now I think I'm more in the mood for Catabasis because I love her writing style in all the genres that she published, like Yellow Face, which is like, I think, a fiction book, and The Poppy War, which is like, I think there's a specific genre. I don't know what it's called. I think it's like political war, fantasy, whatever it's called. And I love Babel because it's dark academia is so good. And I thought one of my favorite genre ever is romantasy, and I'm a romance girly, right? Through and through. So I want to see how R.F. Kuang writes romantasy, and the premise of this book is so interesting. I know a lot of people say that this book is like a little bit of a snob kind of book because there are a lot of things that you don't really understand. It's like very academic, like words wise, I guess, or terms, and then you have to look it up. But I do not mind, honestly, looking up words because it is so interesting, and I feel like it's always nice where you can learn more about things in books that you read for fun. So yeah, I am excited. Like I said, with all the books here, but I am looking forward to reading Catabasis. Last book I have is L.K. Stevens' Silver Cloak. I know essentially nothing about this. I don't know if it's released this year or nothing. I just saw someone reading this book and explained the book as, oh, so the magic system is really interesting. It's pleasure and pain magic system. Of course, I heard that and I was like, I'm intrigued 100%. Not that I know what it means. I don't know what it entails, but I do love her book that I read, which is Our Infinite Fates. And I think she goes under a different name with that book. I think in that book, her name is Laura Steven. And in Silver Cloak, it says L.K. Steven. I don't know if there's romance, but I know it's going to be interesting. I love reading about new magic systems because I just want to see what people can come up with because it's always so interesting. But yeah, I think that's all the 16 books that I would love to read in the year 2026. I usually in my TBR videos, I will do like a little journaling session. But since this journal spread will be in my new reading journal, which you will see, there will be a reading journal setup coming out soon. But yeah, you will just have to check that reading journal setup, because that reading journal setup is probably one of my favorite reading journal that I've ever made ever. Not that I have made a lot. I've made like 2, I think. No, 3. 2023. No, I've made 4. 2023, 2024, 2025. And now we're going to 2026. So yeah, stay tuned for that or watch it after this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope you enjoyed the video and you found all these books interesting, and maybe you would like to put some of these books in your TBR as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and this holiday season, and I will catch you in my next one. Goodbye.